love this archway. Sometimes I walk out in the morning and I see somebody praying in it, and sometimes I see people getting out of the storm when they're just standing in it or sitting on the benches here. It's just a great place to be and be near to the Lord in this building. But maybe that's not a bad image. It's a sturdy shelter for those who are in need of the Lord, and in a lot of ways, that's what these readings are about this weekend for the 25th Sunday in Ordinary Time. A lot about how the Lord has a preference for the poor, and those who take advantage of really are they're in big trouble, right? They're in big trouble with the Lord. The gospel reading is one that I think is more confusing for people than anything else, and is worthy of a note. The dishonest steward who is fired from his position running the master's household. You know, he's worried. He's like, I don't do manual labor. I don't know how to take care of myself. You know, I've always been in this situation where things have just been handed to me. So like, how am I going to take care of myself? He's like, I know what I'll do. I'm gonna cut down the debt of these people who owe my master money, so they'll thank me for giving them a break, and then when I'm kicked out of the house, they'll take care of me because I took care of them. You know, when we get to the end of the parable and we're kind of confused, like the master praises this dishonest steward for doing what he did, then yeah, praises him for his wisdom and his ingenuity in a way of finding a way to take care of himself. But and Jesus is really praising him too, because that's how we ought to be with our master's money. And that's the call of the Lord on our lives, to recognize that we don't have anything of our own. We're all just stewards of the Lord's household. We're stewards of the Lord's creation, and anything that we have is really his. And what he wants us to do is use his wealth to pay down the debts of the poor. Why? So that, they'll take care of us in our time of need. God has this preference for the poor, and essentially it goes like this. God loves the poor so much that he's going to take them to heaven. We take care of the poor along the way. They're going to get us into heaven, right? That's the positive interpretation of the gospel parable. You can also look at it, as Jesus indicting the Pharisees for their being overly concerned with wealth and money and things of that nature. But I think the one about taking care of the poor is really the one that just lands in my heart. It's fascinating, unlocking the understanding of Jesus along the way. So, let's work to make that a reality in our lives. No matter where we are in the parable. Whether we are the poor, recognizing that God has a particular preference for us. Whether we're those who are really stewards of the master's wealth and taking care of the poor. Ultimately, with the hope, the expectation, as the Lord tells it in this story, of being united in the master's house forever in eternity.